Oh, sorry I didn't see you there. I was just walking around this level that I lovingly created for your entertainment, and I just came across this pile of manure here, and I just thought, well, I can't just leave it there. And on top of that, I thought it'd go really well with the shit-eating grin I'd have on my face. When I told you, gamers, I told you so.
キスか。もう何年もしておらん。
I said that update would be coming out on August 12th, and guess what? All of you thought I was fooling, okay? No fooling! That update came out on August 12th, and everyone hated it. Okay, not everybody. It was a decent update, but I think more than anything, it kind of outlined this problem that's currently with the game, is that nobody has any idea what the hell they're doing. Okay? No one understands the game mechanics, nobody understands the goal or the journey you're supposed to be taking when playing the game. Nobody has any idea what to do, okay? And that's obviously a huge problem for me. So I've just kind of been like wrestling with this idea of like, how do I get people to understand this thing I've made? Because right now it's confusing as fuck. That's the biggest issue right now. Hello again. Welcome back to therapy. So, before I get too far into all the stuff I'm planning to do for the next update, I kind of want to take a second to just talk about the last update a little bit. Kind of go over how I think that one went. It wasn't as good as the last update, I'll be honest. I don't think I put enough attention to a lot of areas where the gamers were wanting me to put attention into. And I think that showed in the reviews. But it's a bit more complicated than that, because on the 19th, like the update came out on the 12th, but I didn't announce it until the 19th. But on the 19th is when we had the daily deal. And so Get to the Orange Door was on the front page of Steam. A lot of people saw it, and we got a lot of new customers. So a lot of people joined into the game, joined the community, and through that, we got kind of an insight that we didn't have before. When we're not gaining a bunch of new players, generally it's the same population being cycled into the game over the course of like however long people have had the game on their wish list. We're getting people who are familiar with the game, right? And when they're familiar with the game, they're familiar with me, and for some reason, for some godforsaken reason, they like me. And so they kind of review the game a bit easier, they don't go as hard in the reviews. But we get new people in, and they don't know the history of the game, they don't know me personally or anything like that, and they're a bit harsh, right? They kind of shit on me a little bit, and rightfully so. I think a lot of the negative reviews that come out for Get to the Orange Door are pretty valid, not gonna lie. I think a lot of them talk about how the game doesn't really feel like it's progressing anywhere. The game doesn't really feel like it has a progression loop that you're supposed to be following at all. It doesn't really outline the mechanics of the game well. It doesn't really show all these other things that you're supposed to be doing in the levels, that you can do in the levels. And so to them, the game seems kind of empty. And in some way it is, but it's just hard to dig deep into the game and see where you're supposed to have fun at, right? It's kind of just like, oh, I can wall run, I can shoot things, but what am I really supposed to be doing to get the fun factor that I've been expecting from this game, given that the reviews at the time of the daily deal were overwhelmingly positive, right? So let's talk about the update. So the Sticks and Stones update was all about kind of doing this rebalance of weapons and enemies and equipment and melee weapons and ultimate abilities and yada 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 yada. It was kind of this rebalance of things to get the game closer to that core gameplay loop that I've been wanting to get. And for the most part, I think I hit that nail. I think the Build-A-Bang weapons or the Babe guns, they're just super fucking cool. It's literally just pack-a-punch, but I just like what I did with those guns. I think they're fun. And a lot of them are like super wacky. And so when I was making the Build-A-Bang engine, and if you look at the Build-A-Bang engine, you can kind of get an idea. I was wanting a method through which I can insert personality into the game, right? Because before the Sticks and Stones update, there really wasn't a lot of personality in the game. It was this retro 80s kind of shooter thing, and the music was great, and the guns are cool, but outside of those, there was not really anything wacky. There wasn't really anything you could really sink your teeth into. And I think the Build-A-Bang is a good first step in being like, yeah, this game has some personality, it has something going on under the hood. I think it's a good start. And on top of the Build-A-Bang, we did the Battle Stones, and I did the Battle Arena, and so those things kind of play as like optional level objectives that only happen, or they're only supposed to happen once per run, and obviously that didn't plan out perfectly, but I'm starting to finally add some objectives to the levels, add some life into the run of the game, and there's other things I'm going to be doing in the later updates to emphasize that even more. But it's just, I'm giving you guys some stuff to do. It's kind of the whole goal. There's stuff to do, some rebalances, stuff like that. And I think from that perspective, I think the Sticks and Stones update did pretty good. I think it did add a bit to the game where you can really sink your teeth into it more. And on top of that, the new level, the Forged Pass, stupid fucking name. The new level's amazing though. I love that level. It's probably my current favorite level in the game. The final arena, it doesn't play super duper well. I think it plays pretty okay, but I just love how that level looks, and it's a level I've been wanting to make for a really long time. But I think where the problems start to occur with the last update is more around of like, where should I really put my attention into, like guns and stuff, or should I have really worked on new user experience? And granted, before the update, I didn't really know that new user experience needed some attention. It definitely does, but I didn't really know it. A lot of the reviews were positive, and they were from people who watch my GIFs and kind of have an idea of how to play the game just innately going into it. So I didn't know I needed to work on that. Now that I do know, there's a lot of changes I can make, and that's kind of what I want to talk about next. Get to the Orange Door is kind of in a unique spot where we're kind of in the middle of like two communities. We have the roguelike community on one hand, and they come from like Risk of Rain 2 and those kind of games, and on the other hand we have like the fast-paced kind of boomery movement shooter, right? And that comes from like Dusk and from Ultra Kill and from Titanfall, kind of those areas. I can't believe I didn't say Doom. Why did I not say Doom? Doom, obviously. And kind of those areas are where our two communities are kind of like mixing and matching, and they're pretty much polar opposite communities, by the way. So if you look at somebody coming from the roguelike area, they're very used to like, oh, there's a lot of items, the game is difficult, and all these other kind of mechanics that go along with the game, and things are random and you don't really know what you're going to get, and it's like run-based stuff, there's a hub. They're kind of used to that kind of stuff. That kind of aligns with what their play style is kind of meshed towards. But on the other side is the boomer community, and they're like, oh, I'm completely fine with gun shooty and movement wall run stuff. They're completely cool with that. But on the other hand, they're not super duper used to all these random mechanics. And the roguelike people are not super used to all the shooty mechanics. And so we have this kind of weird niche middle ground here where Get to the Orange Door exists, where not a lot of games exist. I really can't think of any that exist in roughly the same spot as my game. And that's not me bragging either. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But no other games can exist in this area, and that comes with a unique challenge of how do I teach roguelike people the cool boom shoot stuff, and how do I teach the boom shoot people the cool roguelike stuff, and how do I mix and match those things correctly to give the impression that I've been wanting to give with my game. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So let's talk about the next update. The next update's called The Dark Down Under, and it's all about these roguelike tunnels and caves and dungeons. Dungeons is the word I was looking for. It's about adding dungeons to the world, and they're going to function similarly to how the Battle Arena does, where only one level per run is going to have a dungeon in it. And those will be separate levels in the Battle Arena, so you probably won't get a Battle Arena and a dungeon on the same level too frequently. And if you do, I guess you're going to be stuck on that level for a while if you really want to, complete it. But whatever, that's fine. The dungeons, I have a lot of plans. I don't really want to talk about them much. It's kind of like a dungeon update, an ultimates update, where I want to add a bunch of new ultimates to the game and stuff like that, and like maybe some cool new guns. Who knows? Maybe those are already underway. Who knows? Maybe a pistol is getting added and a lever action. Who knows? Anyway, there's a bunch of other stuff I want to add, but right now, for the update, what I'm really focusing on, and what I've kind of refocused the update towards for the time being, is tutorials, music, weapons, and player integration. So getting new players properly integrated to how the game functions, how the game plays, all that kind of stuff. And so in the next update, I think we're going to see a lot of pretty big changes to things. So in this kind of way, this devlog is kind of acting as a warning to you. It's going to be a little bit. It's gonna be a bit. It's probably gonna be a couple months, and I'll put some patches out before I go because I know there's some bugs that need addressed desperately, and I've already got a bunch of those fixed and they're on the dev branch. But so there's gonna be some patches in Sticks and Stones. I still haven't done a trailer for Sticks and Stones, so I still gotta do that. I probably shouldn't be working on this devlog before I've made a trailer for Sticks and Stones. So you'll see that pop up randomly. It's not gonna be a big one. It'll be a small one. But for the Dark Down Under, I really have a lot of work to do, and so specifically on that new player stuff. And so if I'm gonna go balls deep in this thing, I might as well go all the way in, right? So you're gonna be seeing some story stuff for the first time, and given that the Dark Down Under is the last update for Act 1, I'm definitely gonna be going all out with it. So this was probably a bit of a shorter devlog. I didn't really want to take too long to do this one. So yeah, expect that coming up soon. Anyway, goodbye. Get out of here. Shoo. Go on, get. Fuck you.